There's really good resources that we all need to know about to be able to help that individual.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the State of Soy. I'm Aaron Putsey. We're coming to you from a pretty familiar spot, and that's the campus of Iowa State University. I'm visiting with Dr. David Brown. Dr. Brown serves as a behavioral health state specialist for Iowa State University Extension and Outreach. And I kind of wish maybe we were here under different circumstances, Dr. Brown.
Sure,
but
I understand that.
as you know, these are some difficult times right now that farmers in really rural communities are experiencing right now. And we wanted to just catch up with you and be a resource today for farmers as they're dealing with some challenging times. And maybe we start from the premise of stress and how it manifests itself.
Well, stress does a lot of different things on the body. It kind of adds to kind of a lot of wear and tear. And so individuals that are experiencing stress may have headaches, they could have stomach aches, they could show high blood pressure. But they also show other signs you might want to look at. Individuals may isolate themselves a little bit more, stay away from activities that they typically show up. They may become a little bit more irritable, more angry, down a little bit. And so those are kind of some basic signs that you want to look for.
What recommendations, what counsel do you provide to those who are dealing with stressful situations? Maybe it's brought on by the crop prices, maybe it's brought on by changes on the farm. Well, how do folks navigate this journey?
It's really about good self-care. It's all about making good social connections, talking to friends, family members, other farmers. It's about getting 150 minutes of physical activity a week. It's about getting, good night's sleep. You want to also make sure that you're maybe doing something different from farming. We know that farmers are great volunteers in civic groups and schools and communities. So we want them to be doing something other than farming to also build up some purpose in their life besides that. But they need to have a sense of humor. The Iowa farmer, if they don't have a sense of humor, we've gone through COVID, we've gone through derecho, we've gone through crop prices up and down. If you don't have a sense of humor about that, it's going to be tough to make it through that.
I shared with you prior to us coming on the camera here about a story in which a farm couple dealt with a terrible tragedy,
Sure.
The loss of a spouse, and the spouse, in sharing the story, said, we were so focused on the farm that we lost focus about each other.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about where we begin in terms of noticing that someone may be dealing with a stressful situation and how to lean into it.
The noticing part is about noticing changes. Noticing changes in mood, if they're a little bit more angry, a little bit more irritable. Noticing simple changes like hygiene. Are they a little bit more disheveled, not taking care of their appearance as well? Are they missing activities? Are they not going to the church or school functions like they used to? Noticing changes in thinking. For example, if they're more confused or maybe a little bit less decisive than they were in the past. So it's really about noticing changes.
How should someone, perhaps a bit removed from the family, a bit removed from the farm, but seeing signs in someone else, how should they provide some assistance?
Well, the first thing they have to do is they have to choose to have a conversation. Because I think so many times we don't choose to have a conversation because maybe we don't know how, maybe we're uncomfortable, maybe we don't want to embarrass the other person. So we have to choose to have that conversation. And what I mean by that is like say, hey, you've been angry a lot lately, and that's really not like you, and so I'm concerned about you. I'd really like to have a chance to talk with you a little bit about that. If in the best case scenario you want to get them in a little bit private space, and make sure you have time to talk with them. And if you can't do those things, then maybe find someone else to talk with the individual.
What's your message to the individual who may be dealing with a stressful situation? Where do they start?
Well, they need to reach out and make a connection. And there's two really good resources that we all need to probably know about. Number one is the Iowa Concern Hotline, and that's 1-800-447-1985. And that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's available specifically related to farm issues. We can direct them to personal financial consultants, farm financial analysis. Individuals can help a farmer to deal with the crisis that they're dealing with. They also have stress assistance counselors available and could do a lot of resource and referral. That's a really great resource. The other one I think we always need to think about is the 988 Suicide Crisis and Lifeline, which is available nationwide, 24/7, free, confidential. Anybody can call. It's answered locally and actually in Cedar Rapids. They can actually direct the mobile crisis team and get other resources enabled to be able to help that individual out of that suicide crisis and bring in the right resources.
Well, David, I want to thank you for taking time here today to talk about what is a very important issue. And you know, a part of Iowa Soybean Association's strategic plan is an ISA Cares platform to be able to talk about these issues, because rural communities and farms don't succeed if the farmer isn't of sound health, mind, and spirit. Reporting for this edition of The State of Soy, I'm Aaron Putsey.
My name is Charlie Brunker, and my wife and I and our kids run Precision Ag, try to be on the cutting edge every time we can. We turned on FMH, Precision Ag, crop insurance. We harnessed what we're already doing, and we'll never look back. Grandpa used to call a field, 100 acres, and now we're planting 90 of the 100 acres. Well, we're only paying for the 90 that we plant, and those details actually increased our APHs anywhere from 5 to 12% in the first year.